When I handed her the keys, I didn't just give her access to my apartment. I gave her trust. I gave her a home. And in return, she gave me a nightmare. Her name is Madison. We'd been best friends since college, roommates back in the day, bridesmaids in each other's weddings, wine night soulmates. She was the only person I trusted enough to live in my place while I spent 2 months abroad for work. Before I left, I told her, "You can use anything. Just treat it like your own." I meant it, but I didn't mean for her to replace it with her own. I landed back in New York after 8 weeks of nonstop filming in Italy. Exhausted, jet-lagged, excited to sleep in my own bed. The second I walked through the door, something felt off. The energy was different. Empty. At first, I thought she deep-cleaned. The counters sparkled. The floor was spotless. But then I opened a drawer. And my favorite blue spatula, the one my mom gave me the day I moved out at 22, was gone. So was the cast-iron skillet I inherited from my grandma. And the mug I got on our honeymoon in Lisbon. Gone. 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 Replaced. With generic Target sets, shiny and soulless. I ran to the cabinets. Same story. My vintage dishes? Replaced. The hand-painted wine glasses I bought in Paris? Gone. The signed cookbook from my culinary idol? Nowhere to be found. I stood in my kitchen, shaking. When Madison came home an hour later, I didn't scream. I just asked, "Where's my stuff?" She looked confused, or pretended to. "Oh, I figured I'd do you a favor. A lot of your kitchenware was scratched, or stained, or just old. I tossed what I couldn't clean. I replaced everything with new stuff. It's better, trust me." I felt like I couldn't breathe. "Wait, you threw it away." She rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic. It's just stuff. You said I could treat the place like my own." I said, "That was my mother's cookware. She passed 2 years ago." She blinked. "Oh." I didn't know. She knew. We talked about it over countless wine nights. She even used the pan during Friendsgiving. She cried over my mom's stories. And now she wanted me to believe she forgot? That night, I didn't sleep. I kept replaying her face. The casual cruelty. The way she minimized what she did. And something kept gnawing at me. This wasn't about clutter. It was about erasing me. The next morning, I told myself I was overreacting. Maybe she genuinely thought she was helping. Maybe she was just clueless. Not malicious. Just tactless. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. But something in her tone, that dismissiveness, that "you're welcome" attitude, kept itching at me. So I did what any mildly unhinged, emotionally unstable woman with a Wi-Fi connection would do. I searched eBay. No real reason. Just a weird impulse. Just curiosity. I typed in vintage blue spatula enamel handle. It popped up. Same brand. Same scratches on the handle. Same one. Listed 2 weeks ago. From Brooklyn. Seller. Maddie_style NYC. My stomach dropped. I clicked on the profile. Her photo wasn't visible, but the name? The location? The language in the listings? It was her. More listings. Cast-iron skillet, 1940s, well-seasoned, heirloom. Hand-painted wine glasses, 6-piece set, Parisian style. Vintage cookbook, signed. Slight coffee stain on inside cover. That was my mom's handwriting. That coffee stain was mine. I checked the prices. She'd made hundreds. Over $1,300 in sold listings. All posted while I was abroad. I took screenshots of everything. Then I sat there in silence, the rage slowly hardening into something heavier. This wasn't just replacing old kitchen stuff. She'd looted my home like a quiet little thief, turned my memories into merchandise, then gaslit me about it like I was crazy for caring. When she got home that evening, I didn't confront her right away. I waited, watched. She plopped on the couch, opened her laptop, and started scrolling. I stood in the doorway, holding my phone. The eBay page pulled up. My spatula, smiling at me from her sold tab. So I said calmly, "How's the resale business going?" She froze. Didn't look up. "What do you mean?" I flipped the screen toward her. "You sold my things. You didn't toss them. You listed them. While I was gone." She paused. Blinked. Then, "They were just collecting dust. You weren't using them. I figured you'd want someone else to enjoy them." My hands shook. "You made $1,300 off my dead mother's belongings." Madison stood, suddenly defensive. "You left for 2 months and dumped your place on me. I gave it life. You should thank me." That's when I realized. She didn't think she was wrong. She thought I owed her for doing it. And worse? She wasn't done. Later that night, I checked her laptop while she showered. I found a draft email addressed to her new landlord. She was planning to move in permanently. She told him I'd offered to sublet for a full year, and that she was getting rid of the last of the old tenants' clutter. Me. I was the clutter. I couldn't sleep that night. I sat on my bed, staring at her laptop, open to the email draft where she described me as the previous tenant and no longer involved. The level of manipulation was beyond anything I imagined. She hadn't just crossed a line. She built a whole new world on the other side of it and expected me to stay silent. By morning, I was calm. Too calm. I printed out the eBay listings, screenshots of her messages, and that email draft. Then I took a cab to my landlord's office. Mr. Jacobs had owned the building for 30 years. Retired cop. Didn't talk much. But when he saw the paperwork, he leaned back in his chair like someone had hit him in the stomach. "She said you moved out," he said slowly. "That you were going abroad permanently." She lied. She paid first and last month's rent. Said she was taking over. I didn't know. I handed him the lease. "It's in my name." I never gave permission. She was just house-sitting. He cursed under his breath. "You're not the first." I blinked. "What?" He stood up and opened a filing cabinet. Pulled out a folder. Inside old incident reports. Handwritten notes. A list of units. For years ago, another tenant, younger woman, let her friend Madison crash for a few weeks. Same pattern. Things went missing. She overstayed. Claimed she was taking over. We had to evict her. Took 3 months. Cops were involved. My jaw clenched. "She ever go by Maddie L?" He nodded. "That's the one." I sat there, stunned. She'd done this before. And still had the audacity to act like I was the problem. How did she talk her way back into this place? Different hair. Different last name. Different story. She's a professional, kid. He paused. "You want to press charges?" I looked down at the stack of printed pages in my lap. I didn't know. I wanted justice. I wanted revenge. But more than anything, I wanted her gone. I got back home. The apartment smelled like bleach. She was cleaning. Perfect. I placed her laptop on the kitchen table. Next to it, a manila envelope with the screenshots and a sticky note. "You've got 24 hours. Then I go legal." She didn't say a word all day. She left in the evening. Didn't come back that night. The next morning, her stuff was gone. No note. No apology. Just silence. But I wasn't done. I created a Reddit account. Anonymous. Posted on r/bad roommates, r/landlord, and r/NYC titled, "If you see this woman, do not let her stay with you." Attached, screenshots, no names, receipts, photos of what she sold. The post blew up. 20K upvotes in 12 hours. Comments pouring in. People sharing similar stories. And 3 DMs with matching details. She'd done it in San Francisco. Then in Chicago. Now New York. Same name. Same pattern. One girl even said Madison used her grandmother's funeral as an excuse to stay longer. That night, someone knocked on my door. I opened it. It was a woman. Mid-30s. Shaking. "You're the one who posted on Reddit?" I nodded. She did it to me too. She stood in my hallway like a ghost from a life I didn't live, shaking hands, sunken eyes, holding a file folder like it weighed 1,000 pounds. "My name's Lauren," she said. "She did it to me last year. In Chicago." We sat in my kitchen. My almost unrecognizable kitchen. Lauren told her story like someone opening an old wound just to make sure it was still real. Madison, same name, same face, had been her best friend. Took over her apartment while she recovered from surgery. Sold family heirlooms. Emptied the savings account she had access to. Even pawned her cat's medical records to get the vet refund. Then disappeared. And posted about toxic friendships on Instagram like she was the victim. Lauren tried to go to the police. They shrugged it off as civil. No break-in. No violence. No proof of intent. That's when I realized. Madison didn't just lie. She hunted. She looked for women like us, trusting, busy, vulnerable, and played the long game. She wore our faces like masks. Took what she wanted, then vanished before the law could catch up. But this time, she screwed up. Because this time we had each other. We made a Google Doc. Timeline. Names. Screenshots. Voice notes. Shipping confirmations. She even used the same fake forwarding address on 3 listings. I called the detective who handled my landlord's eviction case years ago. I gave him the file. He called it interesting. I asked if interesting meant arrestable. He said, "If we can tie the financial side, eBay, PayPal, direct transfers to a pattern, it's fraud. Especially if she used fake names." We had it. We just needed to prove she knew what she was doing. So we baited her. Lauren messaged Madison from a new account. Pretended to be a startup girl looking for a roommate in Boston. Said she'd seen her post in a housing forum. We made a fake one. Madison replied in 10 minutes. Wrote a scripted message. Same phrases she used with me. "I'm super clean, love to cook, can send a deposit up front. I just got out of a toxic situation and really need a fresh start." We sent her a fake rental agreement. She signed it. Used the same fake name she used in Chicago. We now had proof of intent. I sent it to the detective. He called back the next day. "She's done. Get ready." The next week, Lauren and I sat outside a little diner in Brooklyn, drinking bad coffee from paper cups. Across the street, Madison. On her way to meet the new landlord. Smiling, hair curled, holding a binder of fake references. She never made it to the door. 2 officers stopped her mid-step. She didn't resist. Just blinked. Like she couldn't believe the performance was over. As they cuffed her, she looked across the street. And saw me. I didn't smile. I didn't wave. I just raised my phone, took the picture, and saved it under a new album name. Proof that I'm not crazy. Madison's arrest made the local news. Not front page. Just a tiny sidebar on some Brooklyn blog. Serial subletter accused of fraud, theft, and identity misuse. She looked so normal in the mugshot. Too normal. Like someone who could still charm her way out of it with a smile and a sob story. But this time, no stories worked. The detective told me they had enough to press charges in 3 states. 2 for fraud. 1 for identity theft. Still, part of me kept thinking, she'll find a way. She always does. And then her mother called me. I don't know how she got my number. Blocked caller ID. The voice was calm. Cold. "You've made quite a mess," she said. At first, I thought it was Madison pretending. But no, this voice was older. Sharper. "You didn't have to take it this far. Maddie has issues. She's sensitive. But you've humiliated her." I stood in my living room, gripping the phone like it might shatter. "You knew what she was doing?" I asked. Pause. "We've helped her move before. People take advantage of her kindness. We support our daughter." Support her? She conned me out of my mother's heirlooms. She robbed people blind. She made me question my own sanity. And her mother was worried about embarrassment. That night, I got curious. I searched for Madison's maiden name, the one her mom used when calling me. And that's when I found it. An old article, buried behind paywalls, from 2015. A family-run estate sale company, based in Illinois. Name: L&M Curated Home Services. The L stood for Lauren. The M for Madison. Not my Lauren. Her mother. They weren't just aware. They built a business off of it. They specialized in helping seniors downsize, cleaning out estates, selling heirlooms, flipping vintage, making memories livable again, the tagline said. I checked the Better Business Bureau site. 3 complaints. Similar pattern. Items missing. Valuables accidentally sold. Contracts unclear. This was systemic. Madison didn't just wake up one day and start doing this. She grew up in it. She was trained. The next week, I met with the prosecutor. He already knew. He said they were building a RICO case. A full racketeering investigation. My jaw dropped. We don't get many fraud families this tidy, he said. But she left a paper trail. Fake names. Reused addresses. 3 PayPal accounts tied to her mom's business. We're going all in. And then he looked me in the eye. You didn't just take down a grifter. You cracked open a network. But even then, it wasn't over. Because right before the trial, someone broke into my apartment. Nothing was taken. Nothing was damaged. Just the lights turned on. And a single note on my kitchen counter. This won't end like you think. The trial started in June. Madison showed up in a beige blazer, no makeup, hair tied back. The transformation was laughable, an attempt to look fragile, innocent, small. But her voice still had that same edge. She pled not guilty, said it was all a misunderstanding, that she was trying to help people move on from clutter. The jury wasn't buying it. Not after hearing testimonies from 6 victims. Not after seeing bank records tied to her mom's business. Not after the screenshots, the fake leases, the PayPal logs, the aliases, the trails she left like breadcrumbs soaked in guilt. But I wasn't just watching a trial. I was watching a legacy crumble. The prosecution brought up the estate sale company. They showed contracts, patterns, reused terms, receipts that dated back 10 years. This wasn't a one-time scam. It was a family model. And when the lead investigator dropped the bomb that her mother was under federal investigation, Madison cracked. She had a panic attack in court. Collapsed mid-cross-examination. The judge called for recess. But the damage was done. By week's end, the jury took 3 hours to deliberate. Guilty. On all counts. Sentencing set for October. Maximum recommended, 8 years. But I wasn't done. Because justice is nice. But truth? Truth is better. So I did something Madison would have never seen coming. I published the story. All of it. Changed the names for legal reasons. But I didn't hold back. Every lie. Every loss. Every moment I sat in my apartment wondering if I was crazy, it was there. Posted it to Medium. Then Reddit. Then shared it in every landlord, roommate, and fraud subreddit I could find. The post went viral in under 48 hours. Over 100,000 reads. Thousands of comments. More people came forward. A podcast picked it up. And then, a Netflix producer emailed me. No joke. They wanted to option the story. The best part? The title they chose. Behind Closed Doors. They didn't know that was my nickname for her secrets. They just thought it sounded dramatic. I just smiled. Now, Madison is in jail. Her mother is fighting charges. And me? I'm writing again. In my real kitchen. With my real things. The blue spatula? Someone on Reddit found it in a Goodwill store in Jersey and shipped it to me for free. Said it belonged home. And for the first time in a long time. I feel like I do. Collision the end. No cliffhanger. Just satisfaction.